Alright, I told myself a while ago that I would not fall for the horse girl propaganda. But here we are. I gave into the horse girl propaganda after watching Rin Penrose play the game. It was recommended to me randomly, and I just decided to watch it. Anyways, since I'm an artist, I thought it'd be fun to draw some of the girls. So here we are. The first Uma I'm drawing for this video is Sakura Bakshino. She was kind of the one that made me decide to be like, screw it, I'm giving in to this game. And it was because I saw the video of Rin only training her in speed. And that was entertaining to me. I knew immediately that I wanted to get the game purely so I can do that. Now this is an art channel, so you guys probably don't hear much about my gaming habits. Allow me to indulge you all in them. When I play games where I get to make some build for a character, I opt for the most cursed meme builds for certain characters because it's fun. In the case of Sakura Bakshino, yes, I quite literally tried to clear her career by only training speed. When I started out, I could not get very far with that though, because, you see, I needed either good legacies or good cards, which as a new player, I didn't have, and I certainly wasn't going to whale. I'll be a free-to-play gacha game player until the end of time. So my first attempt I did with her was a C rank attempt, and I should have taken screenshots, but I didn't. I shipped her off to who knows where, aka I transferred her. Anyways, now that I've played the game more and have okay stuff, I've done runs with Bakshin where I indeed got that 1200 speed. I learned that if you think you have enough speed with Bakshin, no you don't. Good lord, is she crazy. But I'd say she's probably my favorite in the game. Her vibes are cool and her career runs are fun for me whenever I'm feeling more casual. Now most of us who subscribe to me are here for art content and not for me yapping about some game. So I'll probably talk a little bit about how the drawing process went for this. I've drawn plenty of character designs in the past. I will say Uma Musume designs are a mixed bag for me. Like some of them seem like they'd be hard to draw. For example, TM Opera O. There's a decent amount of detail in her design. Other designs are much simpler, but none of those designs can compare to Hoyoverse designs. And yes, I am saying Hoyoverse designs and not just Genshin designs, because I've gotten invested into Star Rail recently and lord, those designs don't get any simpler. But as for how hard it was to draw Bakshin's design, it was mid-difficulty. Like there wasn't too much detail to worry about, but it also wasn't a walk in the park either. I had trouble with her hair because I never draw hair like that, but I did my best. Anyways, that's enough yapping. I'll show off the final illustration now. And here's the drawing of Sakura Bakshino. I'd say this was just a warm-up for me because yes, I am in fact going to draw multiple designs. But hopefully I could at least capture her vibes in my style, even if I had moments where I was legit struggling. The next Uma I decided to draw was our favorite pink daughter, Haru Urara. Her positive attitude despite all of her losses was nice to see, but it also made me want to turn her into a winner in my runs. Like, I wanted her to win a bunch of races, but see, I have skill issues. One day, my daughter. I will make you win the Arima Keenan one day, I promise. I just need to get good legacy sparks. I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to ramble too much about the game mechanics because I'm sure you all can search it up for a better explanation. But just know one day I will pull that off. Anyways, let's talk about the art because this is an art video. Haru's design is very simple in my opinion. There aren't any details that are difficult. The hard part for me was figuring out how to translate her into my style. Uma Musume uses an anime style, while my style is just... Honestly, I don't know what style my art is, but it's definitely not anime. Haru's very cute, but my style doesn't look very cute. So, I'm not sure if I could capture her vibes, but I did my best. I had to figure out what pose I was going to do for her. I referenced her pose as she's running after she finished a race. Like, where she has her arms up and is smiling. I thought it was cute. She's just happy to run, which we love that. But seriously, I need to have a good career with her one day. Now, I will say the hair is probably not the vibe. I don't know how to translate that into my style somehow. Don't ask me how I struggled, I just did. I think it's the bangs that are off, but I knew at some point I had to move on. The rest of this drawing was pretty easy just because her outfit seriously isn't that hard. And when it came to coloring, which you will see later, it was very simple. Now I do adore the fact that she has so much pink in her design. I thought it was cute. So safe to say, I did enjoy coloring this. Shading this drawing wasn't too bad. Well, there was the face, and I'm sure it looks weird. Like I said, I'm not good at making cute looking characters. I can't translate them well in my style right now, but that's just a skill issue. The only metal she has were her zippers, and in all honesty, I could just be lazy with them because it wasn't a huge chunk of metal. Whenever I shade, if there is a lot of metal on a design, then I tend to take so much longer. It's not that I do anything too detailed, but it's more to work with than the usual messy multiply layers I do for everything else. I believe Haru's drawing was the one I finished the quickest if I look back at the time in the raw footage. But anyways, the speed paint is ending soon, so let me show the final drawing. Here is the final drawing. Hopefully it still looks okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next Uma I'm drawing. So I had a bit of a crisis when deciding Umas to draw for the next one. On one hand, I wanted to draw Silent Suzuka because I thought she was pretty, but then there was also the resident glutton Oguri Cap. In the end, I chose Oguri Cap, also because Cinderella Grey was a peak anime and I absolutely enjoyed it. I was glued to my seat and really invested. Not only was the story good, but also the art. The animation, just everything is amazing. I can tell that the team put a lot of love into this anime. So yeah, that's why I decided to draw Oguri Cap in the end. My idea for her pose was I was just going to have her eat something because it's sort of a thing that she eats a lot. The characters in Uma Musume are based off of real-life Japanese racehorses, so things like their stories and habits take from the real-life horse. And the real-life Oguri Cap apparently ate a lot, so yeah. I thought it was really cool that Cygames, the company behind Uma Musume, put in a lot of detail. Mad respect to them. However, this was a difficult pose for me to get right because I swear, anatomy. Like I legitimately struggled on drawing the shoulders and it was almost embarrassing. Now, this drawing took the longest out of all of my other ones. For reference, Haru's drawing took an hour and a half. This one took 3 hours. A lot of it was on the pose. Oguri's design isn't that complicated though. It's up there in simpler designs. But I guess I spent way too long on the pose. I think her hair might have been another thing I spent a while on. For some reason, I took my sweet time with her. Out of all of the characters I plan to draw, I think Oguri translates into my style the nicest. So obviously, I think my drawing of her is the best one. When it came to drawing her face, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I sort of took inspiration from Cinderella Grey. Like the vibes of the eyes in the style, kind of. It's probably not making sense, just trust the thought process. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this drawing turned out. So let me give you guys a better look at the final piece. Here is the final illustration. I will say that the hands could probably be better, but I was never good at drawing hands. Just pretend they're decent, alright? Now onto the final Uma for this video. The final Uma I decided to draw is none other than the icon herself, Gold Chip. It feels like a crime to not include her in this video. Not only is Gold Chip difficult sometimes in-game with her random training restrictions, she's actually hard for me to draw, mostly because of her hair. Now, I draw blunt bangs an okay amount on my characters, but usually I make those blunt bangs pretty long. They go past the eyebrows and go near the eyes. But I noticed with Gold Chip's design, the bangs stop at the end of the eyebrows mostly. So I had to figure out how I was going to make it look good in my style. Whenever I draw bangs like that, it looks weird. But if something looks weird in my style, it's a skill issue on my end. Now, I absolutely adore how they drew Gold Chip in the anime and wish that kind of style carried over in the game. She has more unique features, is taller, and muscular. And I love that. So I drew more inspiration from that for my attempt on drawing her. In-game, she looks very different. She looks more silly, which I love too. But I just like the anime rendition more. I can guess why they didn't make her more unique looking in-game. It would be more work to make a separate sort of model for that. I think they use a base model and just change smaller things like facial features to fit the character more. I don't know, that's just my guess. On the week, I decided to record this because I'm trying to build a buffer of sorts for myself. I was decently busy, so I had to break this speed paint up into multiple days. Obviously, I got it done, but lord, by the end of the drawing, I was tired. Anyways, I'll talk about the colors because that's probably coming up soon. They weren't too bad. Like, not too bad as in Gold Chip herself doesn't have too many swatches to worry about. Also because when it came to coloring, she's relatively simple since she doesn't have a lot of crazy patterns on her outfit either. So that part of the process was a fun time. I'll talk a bit about shading, but really, I'm just going to complain about petty things. And by petty things, I mean when I have to spend longer on clothes than usual because there's metal. Yeah, so everyone who has watched me for a hot second knows I hate shading clothes. It's boring. Now Gold Chip does have some metal in her design in the brooch or whatever it's called on her neck, as well as this thing on her head. People say they're like horse blinders. It's a pretty cool detail in her design though because she does anything but train at this point. Like I said, Gold Chip is an icon. Does everything but train, yet somehow wins races, but only if she's feeling it that day. Anyways, the speed paint is finishing up, so I'll show off the final drawing. Here is the final drawing. Hopefully I did okay on her. It was definitely a challenge though. Anyways, that's all for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want to see me draw more characters either in Uma Musume or other games I probably play. If you guys want to see more from me, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Maybe I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye!